Hi everybody, welcome back. This is Rob with Velocity Portfolio. Normally I cover the Velocity Portfolio, but in this video it's going to be the kickoff or the first video in the IRA Options Income Series. So I will cover the trades that I opened this week, and spoiler, I already have one closed even though I opened them up yesterday. So I'll go over that in a minute here. I'm going to go over all the details of the trades. I'm going to show my current positions and my account value, all of that. So we'll dive into that here in a second. Just a quick reintroduction of what we're doing with this account. This is in addition to Velocity Portfolio, where I'm living out of the brokerage account. Nothing's going to change with that. I'm going to cover that once a week later in the week. It is Tuesday night. I'm going to cover this account earlier in the week. And here's what we're doing. We are running the quote wheel strategy that a lot of people like to run. There's different variations of it, but here's what I'm doing, and seems to be the most common and most successful from what I have come across and found. So I am selling cash secured puts 30 to 45 days to expiration in the 20 to 30 delta range. I am immediately setting a good till cancel limit order for 50% profit. So if I sell it and receive $100 in premium, I am setting an order to trigger and cancel for half of that, so about $50. And then I'm also setting an alert at the strike price so that I get alerted by Schwab, the brokerage. They'll send me a push notification that if the price hits my strike, then I will get an alert, and then I can go in and decide what I want to do, if anything at all, with the position. If a reasonable net credit is not possible from rolling and whatnot, I will take assignment and then begin to sell covered calls, as it says here. With the covered calls, I'm going to sell 7 to 10 days till expiration. I'm going to sell them at or above the strike price or my net stock cost, depending on market conditions. The goal is to get out of it as quickly as possible and get back to selling puts. I want to be selling puts all the time if I possibly can. So if I'm assigned on a position, I want to get out of it as quickly as possible and get back to selling puts. So if it's well below the net stock cost, then I'll have to wait for a recovery, or I will have to sell below my cost at a very conservative delta to hopefully not get assigned and take a loss on it. And again, that'll be what I feel about market conditions and what I want to do there. Of course, I'll report on my feelings and things on the market and why I'm doing what I'm doing. I will use a tracking sheet, which I've shown in previous videos. It'll be this one here to track. So this is BITX, the position that I've been sitting on in the Velocity Portfolio. This is the sheet that I will use to track if I'm assigned on a position. I will not be using this if I sell a put and then I'm able to buy it back successfully, or it expires worthless. I'm only going to use it for if I'm assigned, and then track everything all the way through to find out my net stock cost to get out of it as quickly as possible. So jumping into the first week. Yesterday was the first day, so I liquidated a bunch of positions in this portfolio on Friday. And then yesterday, Monday, I opened 11 new positions. Before I jump into the actual positions, the account value right now is sitting at $41,871. This is a traditional IRA, so I don't have to worry about taxes in this. It was kind of just dead money that's been sitting in this IRA. I don't plan to contribute to it. I didn't really want to take it out and take the tax hit and the penalty and all that, so this is what I've decided to do with it. I want to challenge myself and see how quickly, if at all, I can grow this account. If I can do what other people are doing and what I've seen so far, people are achieving 20 to 30% returns per year, and I completely understand that everybody seems like a genius in a bull market, myself included. But I really want to run this for a long time and see if it's sustainable. And with that, maybe down the road in Velocity Portfolio, I can run a similar strategy, maybe 5 or 10 years down the road for additional income as well. So it's kind of like a multifaceted approach here that I'm using. So jumping back in here, you can see the account value here. Total market value is going to fluctuate, obviously, with options and everything. Jumping into the actual positions. So I am using the same spreadsheet that I've been using for a while. So you can see I opened up 11 positions here yesterday, 11/24. I opened Verizon, US Bank, Chipotle, Campbell's Soup, SoFi, Pfizer, Rivian, Dutch Bros, ASTS, PayPal, and Realty Income. They were all cash secured puts. You can see the deltas here, all in the range of, this one's a little lower, but all in the range of 20 to 30. all one contract. I want to stick with one contract as much as possible until this account grows. The reason why I have so many open here is because I want to have diversification in my puts. So you can see I've got a sector here, a sector here, a sector here. So I'm trying to sell puts in on positions on stocks specifically. I also am trying to avoid ETFs and things like that. I just think that there's more premium to be made with stocks rather than ETFs. And I'm also staying away from leveraged funds and things like that. So I'm trying to be as conservative as possible with this. Even though, you might argue that ASTS is kind of a meme stock, or some other ones, maybe PayPal, some people might think that it's very volatile and all that. So I'm trying to stay away from super, super volatile stuff like, triple leverage funds and TSLL and things like that. So I'm looking for diversification. And the reason why is if I'm assigned on one or two positions, I want to be able to use the other positions to still create income. So if I'm selling, if I'm just opening a bunch of positions on a bunch of volatile stocks and I get assigned on 11 positions at once, I'm stuck. And my income is going to be very, very limited. It's going to be hard to meet the goals that I'm trying to meet. My initial goal just starting out is to achieve 20% per year. And I think based on what I've seen and what I've watched from other people and things like that, I think that's actually a conservative number. There are some people that are hitting 30-40% returns. Again, disclaimer, I understand that we're in a bull market and we have been for a while, so we're going to see how this goes. So without rambling on that anymore, I'm sure if you haven't read all these already, there's the strikes. 39 days when I opened most of these. Did not have the option. Realty Income did not have the option for 39 days, so I had to go to the next closest, which was January 16th, so 53 days there. A little further than I would have liked, but I liked Realty Income at its price, so I wanted to sell there. All of these stocks are in like the $20 to $60 range, roughly. So I'm trying to sell no more than 10% of the account value in one position. That way it allows me to open up multiple positions. I really wanted to do no more than 5% for one position, but that's a little tough on like a $20 stock. There's just not a lot of good $20 stocks that I want to sell cash secured puts on yet that are liquid enough. So I'll keep building my watch list and figure that out. But going into, I also wanted to open up this, which I'll go into in a second here. But you can see the fees that I paid. It's going to be 66 cents every time I open or close a position. After doing this for a while, I want to try to negotiate this. I've seen some people be able to get this cut down to like 50 cents. Not a huge difference, but it'll save something, right? So without rambling more, like I always do, as you can see here, I've already got one closed position. So I opened this yesterday. It's on Chipotle. I opened it 30 Delta, like I said, 39 days out. I received $74 in upfront premium. So what did I do? Like I mentioned, I initially set a good till cancel ordered for about half of that. So I set it at the 30, I can go here. I set it at the $30, so I closed it for $37.66. So you can see there. So I set it for half of that. So I was sitting at work today actually and received a notification on my phone that it actually would close, and I was shocked. I saw the notification pop up first, didn't see what it was, and I was like, no way. There's no way that one already closed, and sure enough, it had. So Chipotle rose a lot today, and less than 24 hours, or maybe a little bit more than 24 hours, I have my first closed position. So opened it yesterday, it closed today. I bought it back for $37.66, so received, in total, I closed this trade for $35.68 in profit. So you can see I closed it, bought back, and that's also reported up here. So I'm going to be more diligent about this, my income only being on closed positions. So you can see I actually received, yesterday I've received $1,333.74 in premium, but it's not profit until it's closed. So my only closed and profitable position at the moment is Chipotle, $35.68. So that was pretty cool when I saw that, and I knew I was going to be doing a video tonight. So when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, that's great! I can cover that on the video, and that'll be cool to show." So I plan on doing a video every week, unless I'm just still sitting in positions and there's just not a lot of activity. Maybe I'll go to every 2 weeks, maybe even once a month if it takes that long. I don't think it will, but or I can at least do something to kind of update on where they're sitting and things like that. But you guys can give me some comments below if you know what kind of frequency or anything else you think I need to cover on this or that might be helpful to you. Let me know. I'm happy to go over it. But lastly, I wanted to go into some of my rationale on these positions. So let me go into this here. So what I did on all these positions, you can see the 11 positions. I actually need to update. I opened Intel today. So with this closed position and the money I had available from the cash secured put, I opened up a cash secured put on Intel. So that's open at the moment. So I have not added that into this list yet. It's been kind of a crazy day. Didn't get home from work until like 7:30 at night. So went to Costco today. That was a nightmare and probably a bad idea. But anyways, so ASTS, you can see here, I put my strike. Here's my strike, $48. And then this vertical line is my expiration. So going forward, you'll kind of see that. So it just kind of gives me a visual of what we're looking at here. So the $38 strike is, you can see we had a big red bar here. It came down, kind of bounced off of it. So that's where we're sitting on ASTS. Dutch Bros, quick review. Again, came down here, bounced off of it. This is not really relevant because I plan on selling 20 to 30 delta anyways, but I wanted to give you kind of a visual of what I'm looking at when I'm looking at positions, because I am looking at this before I open the position, even though I'm going to do 20 to 30 delta anyways. If it happens to line up with what I think is a trend line or anything like that, I think it's just even better. So I am looking at this a little bit, but it's not really like my entire deciding factor. So Chipotle, which was closed today, you can see big green bar today. Hence the reason why it closed early on volume. So these are volume bars down here, which is important. This is an average volume line here. So today was above that line. So not only did it rise, but it rose on pretty good volume. So that's the reason why it was closed out 24 hours later. Also, this was sitting at a pretty relative low. And if you follow technical analysis, this could be a head and shoulders. So shoulder, head, shoulder. I'm not a pro with technical analysis, but I'm just my limited experience with it. That's kind of what I saw here. Going into CBP, 29 strike is well below all of this noise here and could be a trend line somewhere in here. So I like that there. Realty Income Corp, all the way down here. Pfizer, kind of in the middle of this mess, could be seen as support right now. You got a few bounces, but obviously some stuff in and out. So nothing really crazy with this one. I just think that Pfizer is low and has been low for a while. If you look back at, the last few years, it was quite a bit higher and it's been dropping like crazy. And it's sitting on a relative low. If you go all the way back, I'm not going to go that far, but if you go all the way back to like 2020, it's sitting at a relative low. So I think I just messed that up. It's supposed to be 25. Yep, 25. And then PayPal, same thing. I set my strike, ended up setting my strike kind of at a relative low here and possibly a support zone. Rivian. Some of these I just really like the stocks as well. And I should say as well, all of these, if I was assigned, I'm okay with owning them long term. That should be rule number one is only sell on things that you are comfortable holding for a long time, because you may have to hold them a long time if the market tanks. So the strike here, I like this, is below the 50 simple moving average, which is nice. SoFi, down here where it dropped down quite a bit and then bounced right back up. And it's also below the 100-day moving average, which it's now above. This current price is now above the 50, so it would have to drop below 2 moving averages to get to my strike. So I like that one. US Bank, same thing. It has to drop below 2 moving averages here to get to my strike. And Verizon, last but not least, sitting on what I think is a support area. Again, just wanted to show you a visual, and none of these are the reason that I sold this particular strike, but they might have been the reason that I chose this particular stock. So this is what I'm going to do going forward, show the strike price, the expiration date, and I'll be updating accordingly. So the next video, we'll be over here somewhere or something, maybe not that far. We'll be somewhere in here, and we'll see where the stock price is and where it is relative to my strike and all that. So anyways, without running any longer, just wanted to go into the first week and the results. I've got my first bit of income already after 24 hours, which was cool to report, and I'll keep you guys updated. If there's anything you think you want to see or covered, drop it down in the comments. I'm happy to expand on this. This is the first one, and I plan on doing this for a while. So thanks so much. We'll catch you on the next video, the velocity update at the end of the week.